Okay, here we go, making sourdough bread. So this is day one. I start in the evening and I'm feeding the sourdough starter for the first time. You need a scale for this. So I'm gonna add 25 grams of water to it. And I have to look over here now to see. Okay, that's 27, that's fine. So mix this up real quick. It's normally 25. If you a couple of grams over, it doesn't matter. Okay, there. And now, okay, equal it out again. If you have the fork in there, make sure you equal it out so it's 0 right now. And now another 25. Or 27, since I had 27 grams in there of water. I have 26, 27. There we go. Alrighty, mix this up just so it's incorporated. Doesn't have to be perfect because now you're gonna let it sit overnight for at least 10 hours. There, close it up. And like I said, leave it for 10 hours and I'll see you again in the morning on day 2. Okay, here we go. This is day 2, early in the morning. So if I sound funny, it's because about 5 o'clock in the morning. Starter had risen, it's already falling again. And we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna feed it again. So here we go with 25 grams of water. Let's see. And we had 34. Oh well, it's fine. It really is fine. Just make sure you put pretty much the same amount of flour in it. And I use, for this, I actually use all-purpose flour. And then for baking, there are 2 different flours I use. Okay, so here's the, what did I say, 32? Okay, back to 0. Now the flour. No, I didn't. Yes, I did there. There too. Mix this up. There we go. Now you're gonna leave this sitting for about an hour and a half. In the meantime, put this here. Okay, back to 0. So now I have bread flour in here, and I have 375 grams of bread flour. And what I do, I have spelt flour. I like to mix it. So this is, I'm gonna add 125 grams of spelt flour in it. If you don't want to do that, you can just use 500 grams of bread flour and leave the spelt out. I like the flavor better with the spelt in there. So let's see, I put it on 0. Yes. Okay, and now 125. As long as you have 500 at the end, that's what you want. It's hard to look over this phone. Okay, 125. There you go. 127, that's fine. So this little gadget is for mixing everything with the dough, some kind of dough hook type thing. You can do it by hand too, but I like gadgets, so They mix it up a little. Okay, back to 0. So once you have your 500 grams of bread flour or combined flour, you want 375 grams of water. Okay, let's see here. Almost. 6 more. I'm just using bottled water today, but it should be filtered water, so you don't want to use hard water in here. There we go, 375. Here we are. You want to mix this until you see no more flour in the bottom or anywhere in here. So it's gonna look like you didn't have enough water in it, but it literally comes together at the end. Okay. So this is gonna hydrate itself now for 1 hour. So once it's all combined, so here we go, almost there. If you have it little, it's fine. The water's gonna get there somehow in this hour. There, all the dry, yep, it's all gone. So this is fine. Take this off. Okay, there, get a towel, just cover it, and I will see you again in an hour. So I actually thought that I was taping this, but instead I took a picture. Oh well. So this was after the hour. I took the towel off. I added 10 grams of salt in here and 100 grams of the starter. And now I'm actually mixing it all up. So I'm using my hand for this because sometimes I like to just feel where the salt is and where the yeast, not the yeast, the starter is. So you can do this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Because you don't want the salt all in the same spot and the starter in the same spot. You can kind of feel when it's well distributed. It's getting harder every time to do this because it's building up, I guess, glutens. I'm not really sure because there are not very many glutens in here. But this is how I do it. This one actually looks okay. I don't see too many spaces of the yeast anymore, nor do I feel the salt. So I use kosher salt. Okay, here we go. And I switched over to a wet towel because it's cold right now. It's winter time and the heat is on constantly, so I didn't want it to dry out. So put the towel back on, and now you set a timer for 25 minutes, and then we will fold it after that, and I'll show you how to do that. So the timer just went off. Now we're gonna do the folding. Okay, so you pick up the side, pull it, fold it over. And you do that on 4 sides or 5, and that's until you go all the way around and have it like folded. I'm gonna do one more. And we're gonna do this at least 3 times. There we go. The towel back on. Timer back on. And then we're gonna repeat it at least 2 more times now, probably 3. Okay, so this is the last part for today. So you have to have a Benetton. And I have this little container. You don't need it. I'm just putting a little bit of flour in there, in the bottom. Put some flour on a nice clean surface. Then you just want to take this out. So we folded it 3 times now. This is plenty. It looked nice and smooth. Nope, I want all of it out. Okay, make sure you soak it in water because that gets pretty dry. Okay, now you will fold it into itself on all 4 sides again. And I just flip it over. And I slowly start pulling it with both hands like this, kind of cup it and pull it. Turn it, pull it. If you have too much flour, you might want to get rid of some because it slides. You want it slightly sticky until you have a nice tight ball. This one is actually sliding right now. But the more you do it, there. Now you can, I don't know if you can see it, but it's tightening up. And do that until it's nice and tight. If you see a really big air bubble somewhere, just pop it. I like my bread when there are not that many air bubbles. Like you have a couple of them right here and there. They're not that big, but that's fine. There, now it's getting stickier. Okay, so this is good enough. I'm just going to leave it, let's see. No, let me just put it in the basket already. Kind of flip it inside out. I stretch it just slightly. You can also get round Benettons. Depends on how you want your bread. Look, there's an air bubble there. Get rid of it. There. And now you just take like a shower cap and put this on top of it. There you go. And now you place it in the refrigerator for a good 20 to 22 hours until tomorrow morning. I will see you then. Here we go with day number 3. So oven is on 500. It's preheated for about 45 minutes now. I have 2 pots in here. The cast iron pots take a lot longer to heat. So either put the lid, since you're only making one, next to it, and then it might only take you half an hour. And if you make more than one, just put it askew. And let me go get my bread. Now it's time to bake. I just got these out of the refrigerator. Like I said, since I'm making 4 loaves, I'm gonna bake 2 at a time. So you can use parchment paper for that. I bought the mats that you can get these on Amazon or at Breadtopia. They have them. Okay, so put this on, flip it over. But for the first 2 years of making this, I used parchment paper, so. And another really good thing that you need is pot holders or these gloves, because I burn through pot holders a lot. Oh wait, let me get this. There we go. Now, put a little flour on it. I used to get real fancy with them. Not anymore. every once in a while. But okay, use your razor blade or really, really sharp knife and cut into them. And kind of deep. Okay, here we go. Get the pots up. Okay, now you want to do this fast. I don't want the heat to come out. Okay, next one. Come on. There we go. And back in. Okay, so now I'm setting a timer. First turn it on for 20 minutes. So, okay, 20 minutes up. So now I'm going to put this down to 425 and leave that for 10 minutes. Okay, time to take off the lids. Okay, now the timer back on to 20 minutes with the lid off. Okay, here we go. It's done. Got my gloves. Okay, let's see. First one. And there we go. Pretty. Put this back in. Get the next one out. And another one. There. Our bread is done. Now you have to let this cool off, they say for 2 hours. Well, sometimes I wait an hour because I can't stand it anymore. I need to have it. Yeah, but literally 2 hours is the best to let it cool off, because otherwise you see after an hour when you cut into it, it's nice and warm, but it gets a little gummy sometimes, which I don't really care about, but that's totally up to you. So I hope you make it and you will enjoy it.